Have you ever wondered if the world described in the Bible was real? What if you could walk through the very streets where prophets preached, or touch the stones of a synagogue where Jesus taught? For centuries, the Bible was primarily a text of faith, its stories passed down through generations. But today, a fascinating field is bridging the gap between scripture and stone, between faith and fact. Welcome to the Heart of Catholicism YouTube channel, the Catholic path to peace, where God's faith changes our lives. Biblical archaeology plays a vital role in connecting the biblical text with the physical world in which it was written. Many biblical events occurred thousands of years ago, and archaeology bridges this immense historical gap by uncovering physical evidence of ancient cultures, settlements, and daily life. It doesn't exist to prove religion, but rather to illuminate the context in which these sacred stories unfolded. Through artifacts, inscriptions, and architectural remains, archaeology provides a tangible link to the past, deepening our understanding of Scripture. Modern scientific methods have revolutionized this field, allowing researchers to confirm, clarify, or expand what we know from the Bible. Many recent discoveries have shown a remarkable alignment with biblical narratives, bringing the world of ancient Israel, early Judaism, and early Christianity into sharper focus. Recent excavations across the Holy Land are transforming our knowledge of biblical-era societies. In the ancient Judean hill country, for example, archaeologists have uncovered fortified city walls, advanced pottery kilns, and administrative complexes. These findings reveal a level of political organization consistent with biblical descriptions of the Israelite kingdom, suggesting a sophisticated and centralized society. The ongoing City of David excavation in Jerusalem continues to yield incredible surprises, including underground tunnels, royal seals, known as bulla, and large stone structures that may date back to the period of the United Monarchy under David and Solomon. These discoveries strengthen the historical plausibility of a centralized kingly administration as described in the Bible. Furthermore, the unearthing of domestic architecture, food remains, and household tools offers a vivid picture of daily life. How ancient Israelites cooked, traded, worshipped, and interacted as families and communities. Several newly deciphered inscriptions have provided independent historical confirmation of figures mentioned in the Hebrew Bible. These writings, in Hebrew, Aramaic, and neighboring languages, help scholars reconstruct the political landscape of ancient Israel. For instance, an inscription might mention a king or an official whose name and title match those found in the books of Kings or Chronicles. Excavations of Canaanite and early Israelite sites are also revealing settlement patterns that align with biblical accounts of the Exodus, the conquest of Canaan, and the formation of tribal regions. Although debates among scholars remain, archaeological evidence increasingly demonstrates the complexity of early Israel's emergence. Artifacts like altars, cultic figurines, incense burners, and administrative seals shed light on the religious practices, social hierarchies, and economic systems described in the Old Testament. Discoveries also reveal how ancient powers such as Egypt, Assyria, and Babylon intersected with Israel's history, providing a broader context for biblical narratives about war, exile, and diplomacy. Archaeology of the first century has unveiled a world that closely matches the descriptions found in the New Testament. Stone vessels, bustling marketplaces, fishing equipment, and ritual baths, or mikvahot, illustrate the vibrant Jewish cultural environment in which Jesus lived and ministered. Inscriptions found across Jerusalem, Galilee, and the wider Mediterranean document the spread of early Christian communities and the challenges they faced under Roman rule. Some of these inscriptions even refer to early church leaders or Roman administrators mentioned in the Gospels and the Acts of the Apostles, aligning the textual and archaeological evidence. Roman coins, military installations, and legal documents further reveal the pervasive influence of Roman governance on daily life in Judea. Perhaps most excitingly, Newly discovered synagogues, such as those at Magdala and Chorazin, provide detailed insights into Jewish religious life and help us reconstruct the very settings of Jesus' ministry. We can now visualize the spaces where he taught and performed miracles with greater accuracy than ever before. Beyond Israel, discoveries in neighboring lands like Jordan, Syria, Iraq, and Turkey continue to fill in the historical backdrop of the biblical world. Excavations in these regions have revealed the city walls, palaces, temples, and administrative archives of civilizations such as the Moabites, Ammonites, Hittites, and Arameans, all peoples who interacted with ancient Israel. In recent years, Assyrian and Babylonian texts have been uncovered that describe military campaigns, deportations, and political events corresponding to episodes in the Old Testament, such as the fall of Samaria and the Babylonian exile. These external accounts, written from a non-biblical perspective, provide independent validation of historical events and offer alternative viewpoints that complement the biblical sources, creating a more complete and nuanced picture of the ancient Near East. The field of biblical archaeology is being transformed by advances in scientific technology. LIDAR scanning, which uses laser pulses, can penetrate thick vegetation to reveal hidden structures, ancient road networks, and settlement layouts that have been lost for millennia. Satellite imaging helps researchers identify ancient trade routes, long-forgotten battlefields, and environmental changes that shaped biblical history. On the ground, ground-penetrating radar, GPR, allows archaeologists to detect buried walls, burial chambers, and building foundations without having to dig, preserving sites while guiding excavation efforts. High-precision radiocarbon dating is refining chronological timelines, giving scholars more accurate dates for key events like destruction layers and settlement phases. Additionally, high-resolution digital imaging is enabling scholars to read damaged scrolls and inscriptions, including charred manuscripts from sites like Herculaneum that were once thought to be unreadable. Together, these tools create a powerful combination of traditional archaeology and modern science. New inscriptions, written in Hebrew, Aramaic, Phoenician, and other ancient languages, provide rare and precious snapshots of everyday writing, literacy, and administration in the ancient world. Many of these inscriptions mention biblical names, professions, or titles, connecting the archaeological evidence directly to the narratives we read in the Bible. Advances in linguistics have also helped. Scholars reinterpret difficult or ambiguous Hebrew terms, improving the accuracy of modern Bible translations. Newly studied fragments of ancient documents are providing insight into legal practices, marriage contracts, economic transactions, and religious observances, offering a fuller understanding of the fabric of life during biblical times. It is through these small but significant details that the ancient world truly comes alive. Many archaeological discoveries lend strong support to the historical reliability of biblical narratives. Across the Holy Land, excavators have uncovered multiple destruction layers, thick strata of ash, rubble, and burnt artifacts caused by earthquakes, invasions, or fires that match biblical accounts of catastrophic events. For example, evidence of widespread warfare and destruction in Judean cities aligns with the stories of the Assyrian invasions or the Babylonian conquest of Jerusalem. The mapping of ancient trade networks, nomadic patterns, and settlement expansions provides clues about how ancient Israel developed politically and geographically, often in ways that mirror the biblical text. While archaeology cannot verify the spiritual claims of faith, it offers physical data that complements the textual traditions, grounding the Bible's stories in a real, verifiable history. Despite these major breakthroughs, biblical archaeology is not without its controversies and debates. Scholars often disagree on the correct interpretation of findings, the reliability of different dating methods, and the fundamental relationship between archaeology and the biblical text. Some argue that archaeology should be used primarily to confirm the Bible, a view sometimes called maximalism. Others, known as minimalists, believe it should remain an independent scientific discipline, free of religious assumptions, even if it means challenging traditional interpretations. The field thrives on these discussions. This academic debate helps refine theories, correct misunderstandings, and encourage new approaches to understanding the past. By presenting these diverse scholarly viewpoints, we gain a more balanced, credible, and intellectually honest understanding of the ancient world. Ultimately, these discoveries matter today because they enrich our modern understanding by placing the biblical story within a real historical and cultural landscape. Biblical archaeology brings a new dimension to our faith, allowing us to connect with the people of the Bible not just as characters in a story, but as real human beings who lived, worked, and worshipped in a world we can now begin to see and understand. It appeals to both believers and non-believers, offering profound insights into the complex societies that shaped both Jewish and Christian traditions. As new discoveries continue to emerge, they will reshape how we interpret Scripture, understand ancient civilizations, and appreciate the incredible historical depth of the biblical narrative. The story is far from over. The dust of history is still settling, and there is so much more to learn. We encourage you to remain curious, to ask questions, and to explore how archaeology continues to illuminate one of the most influential texts in human history, strengthening our connection to the living faith that began so long ago.